Mary Jane Kelly was not just another name in the dark annals of Victorian London's Whitechapel murders. She was the last, and perhaps the most mysterious, victim of the infamous killer known as Jack the Ripper. Born in Ireland around 1863. Little is certain about Mary's early life. Some accounts suggest her family moved to Wales when she was young, and that she came from a large working-class household. Like many women of her time who faced poverty and limited opportunities, Mary grew up in difficult circumstances. By her late teens, she had begun working as a prostitute, first in Wales and later in London. Those who knew her described her as strikingly beautiful, with red hair and a lively, charming personality. She often went by the name Marie Jeanette Kelly, presenting herself as more refined than her surroundings suggested. Mary's path eventually led her to the East End of London, a place crowded with the desperate and poor. The Whitechapel district was notorious for crime, disease, and misery. Yet amidst the chaos, Mary carved out her small corner of life. She was said to have been friendly, sometimes singing ballads in local pubs, and she often spoke of dreams of a better future. Friends recalled that Mary once spoke of traveling to Paris and becoming a singer. These glimpses into her character show she was not merely a victim. She was a young woman who still carried hope. By 1888, Mary was living at Miller's Court, a tiny room off Dorset Street, with her partner Joseph Barnett. Their relationship was stormy. Barnett struggled to hold jobs, and Mary's drinking caused frequent quarrels. Still, there were moments of tenderness between them. Neighbors recalled seeing the two walking together, sometimes laughing, sometimes arguing, like any troubled couple trying to survive poverty's harsh grip. It was in this fragile existence that Mary's life crossed paths with the most infamous killer of the 19th century, Jack the Ripper. The autumn of 1888 had already been soaked in blood. The Ripper's previous victims, Marion Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, and Catherine Eddowes, had shocked London with their brutal murders. But what was about to happen to Mary Jane Kelly would horrify the world unlike anything before. On the night of November 8th, 1888, Mary was last seen alive by several acquaintances. Witnesses claimed she was drinking in pubs, and later, some said she was accompanied by a mysterious man. Descriptions varied, but the image of a man with a wide-brimmed hat and dark coat appeared in more than one account. Whether he was Jack the Ripper or just another client remains unknown. In the early hours of November 9th, neighbors recalled faint singing coming from Mary's small room at Miller's Court. Some said she was singing an old Irish ballad, her voice soft against the foggy night air. It was perhaps her final moment of peace. The following morning, rent collector Thomas Bowyer knocked on Mary's door, demanding overdue payment. When no one answered, he peered through the broken window pane. What he saw was so horrifying that he staggered back in shock. Inside, Mary Jane Kelly lay on her bed, brutally murdered in a way that surpassed all of Jack the Ripper's previous killings. Her body had been mutilated beyond recognition, the violence more savage, more deliberate. Unlike the earlier crimes committed in the open streets, the killer had time, privacy, and space within her tiny room. When police arrived, hardened investigators were shaken by the brutality. Even seasoned detectives described the crime scene as the most ghastly they had ever witnessed. Photographs taken of Mary's mutilated body would later become some of the most infamous images in true crime history. The sheer savagery of Mary's murder raised questions. Was this truly the work of Jack the Ripper, or had someone else killed her in a fit of madness? Many believed it was indeed the Ripper, but this killing marked a significant departure. Some speculated it was his final act, his ultimate crescendo before vanishing forever. Others argued Mary was killed by someone else entirely, possibly a jealous lover or acquaintance. The murder of Mary Jane Kelly would be the last crime officially attributed to Jack the Ripper. After November 1888, the killings suddenly stopped. The world was left with questions, fear, and no answers. Mary was buried on November 19th, 1888, at St. Patrick's Roman Catholic Cemetery. She was just 25 years old. Few attended her funeral, but reports say some who came wept openly. Her death marked the tragic end of what historians now call the Ripper's canonical 5 victims. Yet Mary Jane Kelly's story lives on, not only as the gruesome finale of Jack the Ripper's reign of terror, but as a reminder of the fragile, lost lives behind the headlines. She was more than just a victim. She was a young woman who once dreamed of singing in Paris, a woman who laughed, cried, and hoped for something better, before her life was cut short by one of history's most notorious killers. To this day, theories swirl about Jack the Ripper's identity, but Mary Jane Kelly's murder remains a chilling symbol of his legacy, the brutal ending of a reign of terror that has never been solved. Please subscribe for more true crime stories.